here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite hot-headed hero's favorite nerd. Stop. And today we are looking at the Walgreens exclusive Marvel Legends Fantastic Four figure. I always stress out about Walgreens exclusives because I have 0 Walgreens close to me. And the closest Walgreens I have is trash. There's never anything in there, etc., etc. So I want to give a shout out to Thomas from Canada. He found one, sent it to me. He covered the shipping. I just had to pay for the figure. Very kind of him. It's much appreciated. And to be honest, just between you and I had to request to pay for the figure more than once. I think he was ready to eat the bill on that one, but is the least I could do for him paying for the shipping, which, you know, between countries is always a bit of a pain. He does have a few accessories. We will talk about them. One of them is already on him, and that is this backpack. We've seen him do stuff like this before. It just plugs into the back here and sits around the shoulders. I don't know if I'm going to keep it on or off. I think I'm going to keep it off. But it's nice enough. It's translucent. It goes from like an orange to a painted yellow, which is a nice fade. There is some nice stuff they do with translucence here, and there's some not so nice stuff that they do with translucence here. But let's continue. He comes with 2 hands, 2 alternate hands, fist hands. Now you're saying to yourself, but he already had a fist. Why would he need another fist? Well, because he also comes with 2 of these things, which we've seen before, that don't always work the best, that sit on there like boxing gloves, and then he can hurl fireballs at you. The hot fireballs are done fairly well, though. They are yellow translucent. They fade to an orange translucent, and then the orange translucent fades to a painted yellow flame. So that is done fairly well as well. We'll set that aside. We'll talk about the figure. This is just a little simple Sunday video, just something to put out, because, you know, it's not a whole lot to talk about when you're just talking about one Marvel Legend. So my issue with this guy is mainly that the head looks like it belongs to one figure. The bottom feet look like they belong to, like from the shins down, look like they belong to a different figure. And then the hands kind of look like the hands and pretty much just the hands look like they belong to a different figure. And then the torso, from neck down to mid-shin and down to fist, all look like they belong to yet a different figure, which is a bit of a bummer because the part in the middle is really well done. And had they followed that throughout, I would have been a bit happier. Now, I understand that they're making it look like a, you know, like the flame is really taking control of them, and I get that, and I appreciate that. I do, but I must say, I'm just not satisfied with how it ended up coming out. It's also a total translucent piece, which means there is some looseness and stuff and some issues, but it's not as bad as Iceman was, so don't worry too much about that. I don't know what that was, but that just came off the figure. Let's see, maybe some Canadian bacon. Moving on, let's talk about a couple detailings, and then we'll talk about the articulation. So the 4 symbol is done really nice. It's painted red and then yellow in the center, and then another red 4. Really well done. And then we have some painted yellow that comes into the translucence and stuff, which does work well to kind of demonstrate the flame. I just don't know why this is so different. I think that's a real bummer. I mean, that's even showing up on camera. And red's a difficult one to get to show up on camera, but the difference in these reds is so significant that it's even showing up on camera. So I'm currently editing this video, and as I'm editing it, I'm realizing that the difference in the translucence between the hands, maybe the forearms, and the shins is that they're trying to make it seem like there's a difference between textures and material of boots and spandex. And I get that. I definitely get it more now watching the editing, but I wanted to calm everybody down that was going to write me messages about it. I still think that maybe they should have gone with just a solid red plastic. A solid red plastic for the boots and gloves, and then a more translucent plastic for the light blue of the suit. I think that would have worked a little bit better because I know who the Fantastic Four are. I have Fantastic Four books, etc., and I was confused by it. So I don't think it was ultimately the best choice, but I do understand it a bit more, and I wanted to add this little bit as a caveat. And then the head sculpt, it is a nice head sculpt, and I like the kind of hair look of the flame. It works really well. And then the eyes are painted yellow, and then the eyebrow is painted. And it looks, you know, it's all done fairly clean. The head is on a ball peg, ball hinge rather. You get up to there, kind of destroys the sculpt a bit without destroying the sculpt. You can get up to there, which is still a great range. And you can get all the way down to there, destroys the sculpt, but you can get down to there without destroying the sculpt, and I think that's well as well. And then the swivel. I do like that head sculpt. I want to reiterate that again. It really looks like a narrow face. Like it's good. Waist swivel. There is something that's getting jammed up on there. You can hear it. Ab crunch, down to there, up to there. Not the best, but it's there. Disc hinge shoulders, get you all the way up to there. This one is a little bit of a gummier joint than this one. This one works a lot better. Bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, which gets you all the way to there. And then wrist swivel, hinge in out on this fist, hinge in out on this hand, and then both of the alternative fists are hinge in out as well. So no issues there. T-jointed ball joints for hips, fairly limited though. Get you out to there, up to there, so that's nice. Thigh swivel, tight here, loose here, tight here. Weirdest thing. Double jointed knee, shin swivel, which is fine. Ankle tilt all the way up, all the way back, and rocker. So articulation-wise, it works fairly well. A couple little weird inconsistencies, but for the most part, it works fairly well. We also have this belt, like that's kind of painted on, that's a little sloppy here in the front. But yeah, not the worst thing in the world, but certainly not the best. Final thoughts-wise, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not the worst either. I do recommend it because I don't know when the next time you're going to get a Human Torch is. Just know that there's some inconsistencies in the translucent. These boots here on the toes are definitely sculpted. I guess he would be wearing boots, so I'm good with that, actually. I take back that criticism. Just know that there's some inconsistencies in the translucent. Just know there's some inconsistencies with the joints, and I think you'll be fairly happy adding this rendition of Human Torch onto your shelf. This is a Figma stand, yeah, so don't get too excited. But that is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool pose, and I think on a shelf, the things that bother me about this figure won't bother you, and to be fair, won't bother me. I think it's just under these harsh lights in this room, looking at it without looking at anything else, it's easy to criticize it. But I do recommend it. Just know it's not perfect. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.